So my name is Jeanne Griffith, and I am the current board president and volunteer for Healing Pathways. So back in 2017, I was looking to get involved in a few volunteer opportunities, and unfortunately as a child I lost a brother, my family lost a brother, and we had come to a place like this in Pennsylvania, and it was just an area of help that I felt that I could be supportive in because I'd been through it and I had lived it. So I originally started here as a volunteer, did that for a number of years, and then I went onto the board after Louise joined us to really be a volunteer advocate. So much of what we do here is based around volunteers, and fairly quickly after that there was a need for a board president and I stepped into that role. So I decided to join Supporting Kids because I don't have any children myself. I have 17 nieces and nephews, but I really felt like the community needs this. I had been a former teacher, and I know that mental health is just critical, and a child, after they've gone through something as horrific as a death in their family, is such a critical time that they need support. So it was a mission that I understood and that I felt that I could add some value, both personally and professionally. And as much as it's a hard topic and you want to cry many times over their stories, the bonding and the help that these kids do with each other is just something that you can't walk away from. Scary piece that I've noticed is that when we first started with group, and I tend to work often with like the 8 to 12, 13-year-olds, there was a handful of kids who had lost a loved one because of an addiction issue or an alcoholism problem. And over the course of the 8 years that I've been here, it has become more kids have issues and loss from addiction than less. Also suicide. As I said, I used to be a high school teacher, and I saw the internals of what goes on in a school with a suicide, and we are seeing more and more and more of that here. I think the opioid crisis is something that everyone focuses on, the person that's sick and getting them help and getting them the clinics that they need and getting their mental health to a better state. But we're dealing with the aftermath, and we're dealing with the broken families. And I think that that has been scary to witness on this side. So I think that our ability to get our school programs up and running, we're in lower income neighborhoods now. If there's a crisis in our school, we have a crisis intervention that we get phone calls about, and we give resources. And I think that is something that when this happens to someone, which it will, we're already in their Rolodex of who to call and how to get help. And that is, I think, really a tribute to the work that's being done around here. One of my experiences, I'll never forget, this one little girl was just so angry at her mom that her dad had died because they had recently gotten divorced, and she just had a lot of other feelings towards her mom, and she just really, really, really was angry with her. And one of the boys in the room turned to her and said, "Do you have any idea what I would give to have my mom back? You still have your mom." And this particular boy had lost both his mom and his dad. And she just looked at him, and their whole lives changed in that conversation. And that was just such a powerful, powerful moment that I will never forget. We always need volunteers. We always need people that want to give their time, give their expertise, give their love to these kids and these families. And second, I think we also need our name out in the community so that when someone's facing this, it's top of the tongue. You know, it's not something that people want to talk about, but when you have a loved one or a neighbor or a schoolmate and they have to face this, I want our name to be one of the first ones that they think of. And third, as the board president, we need talent on our board. We need people who are going to help us get that word out, help us get the fundraising that we need to be able to sustain this organization for the next 35 years.